Good evening, TC, and welcome all to our weekly podcast, Terry Curran's Curran View with the Ard of Hillsborough. Mr. Terry Curran, steady away, son, how are you?
Not too bad. Been at doctor's to have my dressing changed today, so he thinks it's healing okay, but still looks a bit nasty to me, but we'll have to just wait and see how it goes on.
It is still healing, TC, which is good. You're on the mend, which is good. Magic moments, which were brilliant. What magic moments have you picked this week, sir?
Well, I've gone foreign, but there's been that many great goals and great saves. And, when we call magic moments, did we do magic moments to score goals?
We do them for saves, we do them for passes, we do them for magic moments.
But I think we start off with, what's the word I'm looking for when it's a magic moment? A bit of skill type of thing, innit?
Yeah, absolutely. A moment of brilliance in a game that we look at and we go, wow,
but
that was
I've
fantastic.
gone for Harry Kane. Everything about it was just unreal. But you could look at anything this weekend, and it's been just phenomenal, the goals, hasn't it?
It gets stronger every week, doesn't it? I know we say it every week, but it does get stronger every week. It's fantastic.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's got stronger and stronger.
I mean, Ben White, he keeps changing every week as well. I mean, he looks more like Marge from Benidorm than Marge from Benidorm does. What the hell's he done to? When you were playing, T, had you ever played with somebody or against somebody that had changed so much from seeing them 1 minute to seeing them the next?
I have seen it sometimes, but it's like anything else. You look at some players and think, well, he's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
And then the limit.
Yeah. But I'm on about appearance. I mean,
you see some players, and then you look at him and think, well, I'm not sure about him. And then, poof, they take off.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like Ben White, and all of a sudden he looks like Marge. I mean, I've never seen a player change in appearance so much from one game that I watched him play. I think, he was an half-decent player. Of course, he can play in a number of positions. I think he played centre midfield when he was on loan at Leeds. But, he's a decent player. And he won't get picked for England, I don't think, because he had a fallout with Gareth Southgate, didn't he? And he's second in command, allegedly.
Gareth Southgate, or it was the what's his assistant manager?
Yeah, exactly. He's been in a job for about 7-8 years. We still can't remember his name. I call him Dumb and Dumber. So
it was at Chelsea. It's on top of me bloody.
Yeah, I know. I can see the fella's face, but he's so inconsequential. I can't remember his name. But it does look as though he'd had a fallout with one of them because he got sent home.
That's what he's had a fallout with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that we're not watching games. I'm more interested in watching games.
But he doesn't like football, does he, Ben White? He has come out with that and said, I actually don't like football. I don't watch football. He plays football and he's a decent player, but he doesn't like football. I love football. You love football. You could do with a bit of Benelin there, son, by the sounds of you. Was there any other magic moments that you had apart from Harry's, by the way?
Listen, Gabby, you put 5 on, but there's not many. But I just looked at that and I thought to myself, I mean, he's incredible, isn't he? His goal scoring record.
And also his assists.
It's a major striker, doesn't he?
His assists and his goal scoring record are quite phenomenal. And it doesn't matter who Harry Kane plays for. He fits in there like a hand into a glove, doesn't he? He's made for whatever club he plays for, is Harry.
Listen, choose what he does. I mean, I looked at Tottenham. I mean, both their goals were great goals against Tottenham.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I was saying about Kane is Tottenham are having a great season. Yeah, he's gone there and he's having a great season.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
It's mad, isn't it? I mean, if Tottenham could improve to win the league, the player that they need to buy is Harry Kane, isn't it? It is quite incredible that they sell Harry Kane and a better.
You say that,
I know.
They might not be doing as well.
No, but
it's silly to say that, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because without Harry Kane, they actually look better. But if Harry Kane got bought by Tottenham, they would have a central striker that could score the goals that would make them better. It's so bonkers. It's so bizarre. It sounds so stupid, but both have benefited from his move, both Bayern Munich and Tottenham.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
But Tottenham might not have played as well as with Harry Kane in. And
100%.
what you've got is is more goal scorers coming from different players.
And this is what happens when you take that the main goal scoring threat out, and other players step up. And the biggest improvement in Tottenham.
They've had to step up, but they have stepped up.
They have, yeah. But James Maddison being bought, Tottenham never had that.
Absolutely magnificent buy.
They never had that provided, did they, last season?
Richarlison, who I think is a good striker,
yeah,
probably not been doing it at Tottenham, but he probably felt let down with Kane and then not getting the game time.
Yeah,
but he's played him out on left hand side, and he looks even a better player there.
I think that they've all improved. I think Big Ange has improved, and clearly he's been copying Pep, hasn't he?
Well,
did you see that?
I mean,
I've got to say that was fantastic, wasn't it?
It was funny. But what I will say about he looks so relaxed. He looks as though he's not going to go in and bollock him. He's going to go in there and try and put things right if they're not going right. And he's going to go in there if they're going right. They want to even go out and even try even more for him.
He's every player's dream manager, isn't he? There's no bullshit. There's no side. Carragher just comes out with a nice, funny quip. You've been copying Pep, ain't you? Well, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. And
I mean, some other managers have gone balmy, wouldn't they? But
of course they would.
Absolutely brilliant.
And what I liked is with Gary Neville when he said, "You should try it." He said, "I did." And what happened? And then when he left, he sent him off to watch Man City. And I think that's brilliant. It's so funny. It's so spontaneous, and it beats this.
Without being sarcastic, funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And it beats the monotonous jargon of crap that players and managers come out with because they've been media trained, media controlled, and Big Ange has just gone, do you know what? I couldn't give a tinker's cuss. I am what I am, and I'll say it as I see it when I'm being interviewed. If you don't like it, do one. I love that in people.
But he's never, it doesn't, he's not clever with his interviews, is it?
He doesn't need to be. He doesn't feel theatre, does he?
Some managers do.
Of course they do, yeah.
But he's not. You look at him, you think, man, I want to play for him.
He could be on stage, couldn't he, as a comedian?
Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, because his one-liners are brilliant.
Fantastic. Again, he's a throwback to the old legends of the past, so long may it continue. We're loving Big Ange, and so is Robbie Williams. But, Big Ange, well done, and keep it going, my son. Harry Kane, great goal from the halfway line. We will be going out with Simon Stainrod from the halfway line. It's a great story that Simon tells of his time when he was at Falkirk and he scored a goal against St Johnstone from the halfway line.
Have you seen the goal? Simon?
No one has.
You're on YouTube. It's absolutely brilliant.
You won't see it on YouTube?
Well, I've seen it because he sent me it.
Was it with the Football Focus one? Because he reenacted it, didn't he, on Football Focus?
No, I'll get him to send it you.
Get Simon to send it, because what Simon said on the podcast, and we've got it going out with, it's just a great story, and I'd like Simon to tell it. So we're going to leave that on the back burner for Maverick Tales. But it was a great goal from the halfway line, as was Harry Kane's from the halfway line. Jaden Philligan's goal for Hull City, fantastic goal. I mean,
brilliant.
He's scoring some great goals, isn't he, Philligan?
I mean, they're playing quite well then. I mean, he comes in from the left-hand side.
Smashed my team, Birmingham.
Absolutely brilliant. I could have pitched a couple of yards.
Yeah.
But I looked at Kane's. It's only because of its distance that I gave it. Yeah. But it's such a great goal, isn't it?
Oh,
but there's that many this weekend.
Fantastic.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
And Jude Bellingham again scoring a brace in the El Clasico. Again, everything he's touching at the moment is turning to gold.
Gabby.
And good luck to him.
Gabby,
Mm.
Barcelona absolutely battered them.
I know they did. I've seen bits of it.
Absolutely
I know.
battered. I
It's
mean,
incredible, yeah.
I said to you, and
Yeah.
I've not really taken much notice of it because I've not been watching England that much.
Yeah.
When he played at Portsmouth, he was
Mm.
only 16 then, and I
Yeah,
said
it
to
was,
you,
yeah.
he's going to be a good player. This kid
Yeah.
looks a good player. I know you was a bit annoyed because they played Hawkins at Portsmouth and all that, and I
Yeah.
get that. I
Yeah, I
really
think they
do
should
get
play a mixture. Yeah.
that.
Balance
But
team up.
to go to Real Madrid and
Mm.
perform like he's performing,
Yeah.
because I can tell you, one of the biggest problems with any player is going to a club when there's big players in there. But he's just gone in there.
Yeah.
Forget, I'm
Mm.
not talking about playing wise, same. But he's got in there like I would go into a football club, not bothered.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he just fitted in like a glove.
I mean, his dress taste is awful. Did you see him at the Ballon d'Or? I mean, where did he get them pair of slacks from? I don't know. But everything he's
Well,
touching.
that's modern. That's the modern youth today, isn't it?
Oh, I tell you what, the modern youth today have got absolutely no class and no culture too. But he does know where the back of the net is. And you're right, Barcelona could have absolutely smashed him. And it's all those if only moments. And Barcelona had a lot of if only moments. And Jude Bellingham scored a brace, and good luck to the kid.
That could have been 5-0 at half time.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
And
couldn't
then,
believe it.
no, and then people would be.
We were talking,
Yeah.
and I'm pleased for Bellingham, but I am really pleased for him.
Same here.
Because he could be another one, makes a big difference to England.
But I don't
But
think
I
he's
said to
what
lads,
everybody's
we all
looking
said
at.
the same.
Yeah.
How have they lost that?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
But I mean, Real Madrid are not going to be bothered about it. They've got 3 points.
Yeah.
3 great points.
Of course they have. But again, had they have got beat 7-0, which they could have done, because, I mean, if you go in at 5-0 at half time, you're absolutely smashing the opposition. People will be looking and going, Bellingham, who's Bellingham? What's he doing? It's all fine margins.
I think he's got that. He's gone past that now. You know what the media is like for protecting certain people
I've got
don't you?
no time for the media. Absolutely no time
Well,
whatsoever.
they will protect him and be everybody else. It's like Kane at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Listen, I've always said to you,
Mm.
Tottenham might be better playing a team without Kane.
Yeah.
And they'll look it.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But I've got to give Kane. It's incredible what he's doing at Bayern.
And what a great team
and I find
Bayern
it
are.
incredible. I know I just said it 10 minutes ago.
Mm.
His goal scoring record, to say he's not an out and out striker because he comes deep, he'll go out wide.
Mm.
He ain't got terrific pace, but he's quick.
Yeah. He's the most complete forward on the planet for me. You know, when you look at Haaland, you could argue Haaland is the greatest goal scorer on the planet at this present moment in time.
The thing is with Haaland, he's only going to get better, babe.
He is, but Harry Kane has just got everything about him. He'll, as you say, he'll come short, he'll drop deep, he'll get the ball, he'll receive it on the half turn, he'll play some great passes. He's a great football player.
City,
Oh, 100%.
He get the thing about Manchester City.
Yeah.
Haaland gets chances to get an hat-trick week in and week out, doesn't he?
He's missed more chances than any other striker.
What I'm trying to say,
yeah.
he gets that many chances.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
That he's capable of getting an hat-trick every week.
Yeah, you wait till he improves, he'll be scoring 60, not 50. It's quite but again, Man City are a different class, and well done to Man City, team of the year at the Ballon d'Or. We're going to be talking about the Ballon d'Or a little bit later in the podcast, but I do want to get through my top. I've given you 3, Jadon Philogene, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane. You're absolutely spot on too. What a great goal. But my 3 were Giacomo Raspadori for Napoli against AC Milan. That free kick to equalise. I thought it was a fabulous free kick the way he bent it round the wall, his pal ducked under it and it went in the back. It was one of the moments I've gone, wow. In second place for me was Matteo Politano, who scored the first goal that got Napoli back into the game. The way the ball's gone over to the right, he's flicked the ball up over the opponent's head, he's controlled it with his left, he's mid touch, and he's smashed it in the top corner. I was watching that game live, and I've gone, what a goal!
I saw you kept putting clips on, and
it was fabulous. It was one of the best games of football I've seen this season. again.
But I've seen some great goals this season. But this weekend, it's absolutely been astounding,
Absolutely.
astonishing.
And also Calvert-Lewin's goal for West Ham. I'm putting them at equal, Politano and Calvert-Lewin, because I thought that the way.
Well, West Ham let me down on Sunday. That's the first time I ever backed them.
Yeah.
Ever backed them, West Ham. Hey, I've got Arsenal tonight in my £5 accumulator, and now West Ham's winning 1-0.
Yes, Marge from Benidorm scored an own goal. But yeah, I just love the way that Calvert-Lewin, the ball was played into him. He's done a kind of like Franco Causio touch out of his feet, and he's just smashed it. And I thought, what a turn!
They could have won 4 or 5. Them Everton.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Real
Everton have turned the corner.
8-0 tonight. I know it's the Copa del Rey. They're playing a non-deplumed team, but they're not easing up.
And I do want to give a mention. I didn't watch the game because I wouldn't watch it. I've gone off women's football since I've tried to sexualise it and this equal pay and all this woke stuff. I've took no notice of it, but I did see Belgium's winning goal and the pass. The pass. I don't know who it was from, but the bird that passed the ball, it was a slide rule pass. The kid took the ball out of her feet to the right-hand side to get the defender away and put it across the goalie. And I don't know who they are, but it was a fucking good goal too.
Once we get back to the old,
absolutely,
and get away with the new, then I'll start watching it again.
Absolutely. And
because
what did I say on the podcast?
What I watched about the women's football, what I liked about was the technical ability.
Absolutely.
I know it's not as fast as men. I know it's not as physical as men. And I know that you'll make when they play the bottom teams. There's loads of mistakes. But some of these women are technically brilliant. But I'm not interested in
no,
this.
Same here,
and I want the women to do well because I love women. But I just do not want the woke side of it one little bit.
And we've said this from the get-go on our podcast. Leave all this wokeness at the door. I don't want to hear any of that garbage and crap that you talk about. Focus on the football solely. Focus about what your levels are and what your payment levels are. Don't compare them to the men because there is no comparison whatsoever. But just concentrate on your own game. And when they do that, like you, I'll go back to watching them. But I did look at it on Sky Sports News and I saw that winning goal and I thought, fair play to you, Bab. That was a great pass and that was a great goal. So credit where it's due. Book Corner Association with myfootballbooks.com. Andy always gives us a recommendation. And this week it's Lifted Over the Turnstiles, Part 2. By Steve Finnan, not the fella that used to play professional football. Well, I don't think it is. And it's Scottish football grounds and crowds in the black and white era. And on this day, the 31st of October, which was Halloween, what a great day to open Hampden Park in 1903. And it was Queen's Park that played Celtic. And at the time, it was the biggest stadium in the world when it opened with a capacity of over 100,000 and to this day still a European record for an international game, 149,415 saw England play in 1937. So happy birthday to Hampden Park. What a great venue.
Great stadium,
Although Dennis Mortimer, when I did speak to Dennis on the podcast, he did say it was a bit of a shithole when he went up and watched Liverpool in the 70s up there at Hampden.
Yeah, but I think there was still worried about with some of it. It didn't look over great.
No, he said it was awful.
Compared to that rugby stadium up there has always looked a nice stadium.
Muirfield, it's in Edinburgh. Yeah. Went past that on the Rattler
stadium. Celtic and Rangers.
Yeah.
But Hampden Park, I mean, it looks fabulous now.
Yeah, absolutely, and always a great venue.
Especially when you get England playing Scotland, the atmosphere is absolute. It's electric.
That old game of England and Scotland in the home internationals, that was one of the greatest days on the football calendar, along with the FA Cup final. I always look forward to England and Scotland. Something special when we played them at Wembley. But there was also something special when we played them at Hampden Park. I remember
Yeah.
Alan Clark telling me about when they smashed Scotland in. We played them in 1975. I think it was a centenary game of some description, and we beat them 5-0. A few minutes to go, ball's come through. It's a 50-50, and Billy Bremner, he kind of like just loosened off a little bit and let Alan have the ball. And he met him at the airport, and he said, "What was that about then, Bill?" He says, "Well, we lost the game, and we got a game this weekend for Leeds United. But if we hadn't, I'd have fucking killed you." And they were brothers. And he said that's what Billy Bremner was all about. Best player that he played with, and best player that he played against, and all these stories are on.
Absolutely great player, weren't
Yeah,
you, though?
we're on our Patreon site, Patreon page, all the www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Yeah, absolute legends. I mean, what a player Billy Bremner was, wasn't
He was the first one. I, I mean, I used to watch him, that Ronaldinho, when he used to play the ball. He used to look the other way. Bremer was the
he? Yeah, he
first one I
was.
saw do that.
Yeah. Again, I think 115 goals he scored for Leeds United, him and Johnny Giles. I remember Johnny saying to me, "Paul, who was a defensive midfield player out of me and Billy?" And I said, "Neither, John. You were both complete midfield players." And that's the difference between the likes of Bremner and Giles and midfield players that we had in the past to the midfield players that we have
But
today.
that's the competitiveness, you know,
Yeah,
wanting to know
absolutely.
what best between them,
Yeah.
you
But that,
know.
but they were, Johnny would say, Billy would go up, I'd drop if I'd go up, Billy would drop back. They complement each other. Two great football players, two of the greatest players ever to play football anywhere in the world, Giles and Bremner. And arguably, I says to John, you were probably the greatest double act since Morecambe and Wise and Laurel and Hardy. And he said, I've played against a few that were like Laurel and fucking Hardy, let me tell you,
I,
Paul.
I bet their five-a-sides were competitive.
Oh, I bet they were. Because again, I mean, that Leeds United team, they were, again, to this day, I'd still say that if you could put that Leeds United team against any team in the world, they'd give any team in the world a bloody good game because they had absolutely everything. They'd either
Yeah,
fight you or they'd outplay you, wouldn't they?
played you, yeah.
Depends on
Without a question.
how you wanted to play. Because I remember Johnny saying to me, the thing is, and Alan as well, you know, if you wanted to fight one of us, you're fighting
Then to
every
fight
one of
off
us.
everybody.
Absolutely, they were the perfect team
I
in
think
many
that's
ways.
what I think that's what was a matter with the other teams, really, because they had to take them all on. Where with other teams, there'd only be a couple of jumping, wouldn't there?
Yeah. Oh God, oh yeah. I mean, you know yourself from playing the game professionally, there'd be some players that wouldn't want to know. They'd turn
Yeah,
away, and
exactly.
you're on your own here, son. But Leeds United, you fought one, you fought the
Fought
fucking
them
lot of
all.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and second up tonight, T, Dutch Masters, when Ajax Total Football conquered Europe by Gary Thacker. And I have done a podcast. You can access our podcast wherever you access your podcast. The best way is on our Patreon page. It does help us. It's only £1 a week. It works out at £1 a week if you're paying over 52 weeks, of course. And it is the best way to support us, and there is an awful lot of content, Legends of the 70s, the Curran View, My
For
Life,
a
My
pound a week,
Music.
Gabby, I'm not praising you and
Yeah,
Chris, but you absolutely do a brilliant show for everyone. And it's not just, it's me, there's other ex-players, book corner.
yeah,
You have everything on. It's absolute. My music, we Alan Hudson. There's everything on it. It's fabulous. So please join our podcast because we do try as best and we do mix everything in with it. We just don't like the wokeness.
absolutely, T. And I do think for £1 a week, it is great value, if I say so myself. And you're right, I think we cover all bases. And if there's something, if you want to join up for £1 and you can actually honestly say to me, it's not worth £1, I'll give you £1 back, I'll give you £2 back, because I know it damn well is. And it doesn't matter what team you support, there's something there for all football fans. Ajax bottom of the league at the moment. Where did that
I
go?
know. I was looking at that the
Yeah,
other day.
Yeah, where'd that go wrong?
I had a fiver on them to beat Brighton. I think they were about 6-1 or something. Other Ajax. And then Jock says to me, have you seen where they are, Danny Lee? And I said, no, not really. So I had a look, bottom of the league. Incredible, isn't it?
I know. It is unbelievable because, when you look at, I suppose Ajax now are at their worst position, definitely worst position.
That I've ever seen.
Yeah, but the worst time in their history since probably before Renus Michaels took over in the 60s. It's
and
quite
I know
incredible.
you do know they sell all the best players.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
They usually get the top young players coming through them anyway, don't they?
Without a doubt. I mean, what's happened to them, I don't know. To finish bottom of, or be bottom of the Eredivisie takes some doing, especially when you're a massive giant like Ajax. And this is a great book. Pete Kaiser's on the front. Wonderful book, great work of art, lovely pictures and some lovely stories. And they're talking about when Ajax literally did conquer Europe with that total football, won 3 European Cups back to back. It seems a million miles away from where Ajax are today, and third in the trio of the trilogy, however you want to dress it up. It's a happy heavenly birthday, or it would have been on the 30th of this month, well, last month, October, to Diego Maradona, born on the 30th of the 10th, 1960, sadly passed away on the 25th.
I know George Best is my favourite all-time player, but you couldn't split any of them players. Best, Maradona, Pele, Cruyff, Zidane. I can go on. Ronaldinho, Romario, different type of play.
Yeah.
Brazilian Ronaldo, Messi. It's incredible, isn't it? You can go on and on and on.
Oh, absolutely. I've got the DVD here of Diego Maradona, the same fellas that done Senna and one or two others. The autobiography, El Diego, Inside Diego, how the best footballer in the world became the greatest of all time.
Messi and Ronaldo, they've never had any controversy, so you've got to give them some credit for that type of thing.
I think the game's completely different
with
today.
People like Maradona and Best, everybody will pull in. But you know what I mean? And whether they got a weakness where they couldn't say no, and whether them two, Ronaldo and Messi, have got the strength to say no, because it has helped their careers.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think it was different times as well. Maradona, the boy, the rebel, the god by Guillaume Balaguer. And finally, Maradona, the hand of God by Jimmy Burns. I've got all of those books in my library. I'm a massive Diego Maradona fan. I have been since the 70s when I first saw him.
I watch them all the clips with them, all them type of players. I watch them all.
I mean, that life is life. I mean, when he's picking the ball up.
When I hear that song, all I remember is Diego.
It's just, I mean, again, for me.
Golf ball, tennis ball,
anything.
Toilet ball, anything. It's incredible what he could do with his feet.
It was, for me, the most natural footballer that I've ever seen. Again, it's all opinions. But for me, Diego was just...
I mean, George is for me, but I couldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
I just could not argue with it because when you mention him, I mean, for all the tricks, the biggest thing I love about anything about football, that touch they have.
Yeah.
The ball just sticks. And if you've got that, it's an incredible way of knowing that these are the elite footballers.
But what he had as well, he would control the ball with that first touch. He'd know where the ball was going already before he'd received it. And then he kind of, you're a pro player, he'd punch it out of his feet, wouldn't he? He'd punch it out of his feet and you go, that's Diego. He got the greatest balance that I'd ever seen. I mean, that goal when he scored against Belgium in the 86 World Cup finals, I mean, anybody else would have fallen over, but he had such balance to score that goal and he just wheeled away. And it was just typical Diego Maradona.
Some of the brutal... I mean, regardless what they say about Messi and...
no one's had that stick. No one.
They couldn't have got the goals with the fouling like Maradona. Well, like 25, 30, 40 years ago, they could have stuck that stick. I'm not saying they could have took that, but they wouldn't have got the goals because they'd have been brought down like Big Maradona. I mean, how many goals would he have got if he wouldn't have been brutally abused on the football field?
I done a wonderful podcast with Alan and My Life, My Music. I've posted it onto the group.
And to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRB Media. Thank you.